Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the way that YouTubers are in this pandemic and how literally it's just annoying the crap out of me. Now, if you like this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as the cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop. Now, I'm going to talk about this, and there's going to be a few things. We're going to talk about Tana Mongeau, Jake Paul, and a little bit about James Charles. Now, I'm not going to go too heavy on James at the moment for what he's done in this video, although there are a lot more stuff going on about him at the moment. But I just really kind of wanted to focus about the things that we see normally about these YouTubers. From it being that they'll do stupid things to their fake apologies, and generally these sorts of YouTubers, I now think that they just make these fake apologies and then all of a sudden expect everyone to kind of turn around and believe them. But I think now it's gotten to the point where we see these YouTubers do something really bad and they either learn or they don't learn. Now, a very good example is Logan Paul. Now, I made a video about him in the forest, and I still think that he is a massive dick, but I've seen him grow to actually turn around and be a better person, and I think he's learned from it, where his brother Jake hasn't. And I say this because you think that with everything going on, and if you have a family member that did the exact same thing, or if you see your brother who went through all the shit, you think that you'd be like, right, I don't want to turn out like that, I don't want to be under this microscope at all. And that's what kind of really would kind of put me into it. So if I was thinking like that, I'd be like, right, I'm not doing that because I know what the backlash. But you think that you would learn from that big mistake, or you see it. But in this, just Jake Paul just doesn't learn whatsoever. He was in the rioting, which really annoyed me and annoyed a lot of other people. And quite recently he had a party at his house for when he was doing a music video, which is now out and stuff like that. But he generally just doesn't care. And I think that this is a trait that we see that shouldn't happen. You should learn from it. And I kind of want to bring the attention to a video he did, which was Surprising My Best Friend with Emily Willis. Now, I'm not going to say the last part of this because, it's very weird that his entire demographic of his YouTube channel, it's kids. And, he can come up and say, actually, no, it's not. Look at this. It says these sorts of ages. But to be fair, a lot of people would just use their parents' account, or make up and sign up, etc., etc. We know this. But he does this thing in a video where he and Tana are kind of talking about being in a scandal quite recently, which didn't happen because a load of people saying like he's swinging from the machine, which he isn't. But let's just have a look at it.
I've changed. I've gone through a lot of hardships, and I've done a
Twitter
lot of
moments.
growth as a 23-year-old, and I'm so sorry for anyone that I've offended. And this is a growing process for me, and I'm just learning and making mistakes as I go. I just want to say I'm sorry.
Literally that sort of apology. I can see him coming up with much later, and he just says it. He tried to do an apology through the protest, and that didn't kind of work. But when you see this sort of stuff, is like, how do we know that anything that you say that you apologize for is going to be a thing where people believe you? Because you could do the same sort of apology over and over again, but then what happens is you don't learn. And I think the main thing of seeing Logan is he learned from his mistake. He kind of went down to the thing with the electrifying like rats and stuff like that, the dead rat thing. And then, but ever since then, his content has gotten better. He's learned as a person, and he's grown, and he's learned from his mistakes. With Jake, I don't think he does, and this is what kind of irritates me, because he will pull off another stunt like in a couple of months, do an apology, and never learn from it. And I think that's what kind of really irritates me. Now, he can turn around and say people stop watching this stuff that he does, have this whole argument, and that's fine. But the thing is, when you have such a young audience, you have such a big following, you have to take accountability for yourself. Otherwise, you can get away with anything, and people could instantly just go, well, he did it, so I'm going to do it. It sets that kind of mindset. And it's very similar to, say, Dominic Cummings in the UK with the pandemic. He went out, did what he wanted, and now people have that mindset. Well, if he did that, I can do that too. And it's very similar to how we're now going to jump into the next segment. It's a very nice segue into it, which is this whole thing of Jake Paul, no, it's this whole thing of what Tanner's done, and this is what kind of really irritates me. Now, I highly recommend you follow Def Noodles on Twitter as well as YouTube, because he does cover this, and he does it in a way that I absolutely love, and it's great. But we're going to look at this thing. So on the 22nd of July, he tweeted out, Tanner Mojo and other influencers attend TikToker Larry's birthday party yesterday. Tanner's been going out to different parties every night. She recently promised a series of videos addressing allegations of racism made against her. What are your thoughts? And when I watched this video, it's basically her smoking, which again, she has asthma. You kind of think that you wouldn't, but that's a whole different story that I might cover later. But there's no social distancing at this party, and it's all about a guy, Thomas, who is the manager of Larry on TikTok, that he set up this party. Now, you kind of think with COVID and what's going on that you would turn around straight away and not have a big party. If Larry doesn't have to have a giant party to celebrate, you know, I think that he can calm it down and he can wait for much later and have like an extended party or something like that. And I feel that when you see these TikTokers and YouTubers and stuff not caring, and they've got such a big audience, that, you know, it puts it in the mind. Like, you know, a kid could turn around and say, well, I'm going out. The parents could say, stop. And because that, you know, they can say, well, Tanner's done this and this person's done this. You know, it sets them premise that they don't care and they'll just go and do it. You know, with the way that we all are at the moment, you think that they would try and want to get rid of this really quickly, but so far that we haven't. And it just sets a really kind of bad influence. And regardless of when these influencers, which we'll see in a bit, turn around and say, oh, I've made a really big mistake, it's fix your mistakes. If Tanner's been going out for multiple parts, why isn't something in her mind going, I need to stop, I can't go out? Maybe you go to one part and you go, oops, this is a huge mistake. But, you know, it generally, it irritates me that these people aren't thinking. It kind of moves on to where Def Noodles says, like, deleted my last tweet because it was inaccurate. They went to dinner at BOA and then back to the Hype House for the birthday party. As per Nikita's story, I reached out to BOA and they only open at 3 p.m. The BOA is a steakhouse in Los Angeles where they all went, and again, a large party, just all sat together, some wearing masks, some not, and you kind of think that you wouldn't take in such a large party just to be on the safe side, but they all went there. Also, the Hollywood Fix, they seem to be getting all these like sort of clips and kind of posting about. Now there's another one here again on the July 22nd. It's like, this is the scene outside the Hype House, a large group of people outside the house waiting to get in. Another video, Hype House member Guava steps out and says they're at capacity. Now, not clear how many people were at this party. You would kind of think that because you have all these people out now, you would stop it straight away. You would send them away. But then again, like, if you have neighbors, I would have called the police. I'd said, look, there's a group of people out here. They're not socially distancing. This shouldn't be allowed. You know, what the hell? So again, it's just like, why isn't anyone taking accountability for it? Again, what was tweeted out, Tanner Mojo, James Charles, Nikita Dragan, Charlie D'Amico, Bryce Hall, and many other influencers were among hundreds of people at the Hype House yesterday for Larry's birthday party. According to Thomas, manager of the Hype House, many were outside. Well, again, what are my thoughts?
This has been the hardest party to get into in probably forever.
It's because it was just for Larry. Like, everyone's like, Thomas. I'm like, it's just for Larry's birthday. If he doesn't want you here, then I don't know. Like,
really?
Yeah.
There's been like hundreds of people to get turned down.
I know, I'm sorry.
So when you publicly admit that, you know, Larry wanted a party, Larry gets a party, but again, with this virus going out, like, what? Like, seriously, you think that you would hone this party off. So on the 23rd, another tweet by Def Noodles says, like, you know, at the steakhouse, like, you had loads of people out there, but I'm sure that there's a video of someone ringing up Jake Paul and going, hey, guess what? I have this. And he's not cared a lot about it. And then, you know, he's been in the same vicinity, so he could have it. And yet again, he's just spreading it about. You think that as soon as your friend turns around to you and says, hey, I had this, you better be careful, you would lock yourself away. But it just feels like Jake doesn't care, and it's like, hey, well, you know, if other people get it, it's not my fault, they shouldn't have been around me. But yet he's putting himself into these certain situations, and it's just annoying because you think that you're putting other people at risk. You know, when people come up and they will see you and they'll want a photo with you, you'll turn around and you'll passed it on that way. It's just, I don't understand what goes through these kind of influencers' head. Is it just, I want to live my best life, I don't care what other people think, I'm going to do what I do? Yet you should be thinking about other people as well. I wanted to bring up this sort of thing which annoys me with certain apologies, and it was from James Charles on his vlog called A Day in the Life with James Charles. So it reads, "Hi sisters, I've decided to cut the party footage from the video, even though I have been wearing a mask in public and have tested negative multiple times. Going to a party during a pandemic was a selfish and stupid decision. People's safety and keeping COVID contained is far more important than celebrating a friend's birthday and unsafe partying. It's not something I want to promote to my audience. I recognize that with my platform comes responsibility, and I encourage you guys to be smarter than I was. Wear your masks and continue to social distance. Love you." I find that really hard to believe. I don't believe that it's an apology. You know, some people may take that, and fair dues, but to me, I just don't think that is, because if you've been wearing a mask all week, if you've been keeping socially distancing, you know, you don't just throw it off like a cheat day when you're exercising, when you're like, well, cheat day's fine, I can do what I want. I just find that this, to me, shows that you just wanted to party. Like maybe you were frustrated that you had to stay inside all day. But if you've been wearing a mask and you've been socially distanced, why wouldn't you wear it at a party? You know, if someone turns around and has a go at you, like, oh, take the mask off, be like, hey, I'm not catching this. So I feel like when I see these sorts of apologies, that they're nothing, that they're just ones just to please people. If you're saying like, you know, your safety is important and other people, then you would have turned down this party because you would have had a party much later on with other people and you could easily go to the next one. And that's what something I don't understand, as why kind of throw all this away and then just throw this text where you could have easily have made a video. But I feel like this is just not worthy of an apology. I think it's just a statement that you had to make just to make sure people don't get on your back quite a lot. Kind of moving on, there's quite a lot that I wanted to impact on this one. Next came an Instagram story from Tanner, which had a friend Erica in it, where they go, listen, we don't fucking care, sorry. And they're kind of backpedaling, saying that this was about some more sort of drama that's been going on in the past and they wanted to say it, but the way that it looked is just a very big thing of saying, hey, we don't care about this, we're going to party till whenever, we don't care about you, we don't care about anyone else, we just want to go get drunk, we want to get high, we want to do this, you know, we don't care. And even when statements were released, one from Erica on her Twitter saying, hey guys, I just want to apologize for the video that was posted last night on Tanner's Instagram story. The comment was not intended as it was perceived, saying we don't care, was about our previous beef. It was no way related to COVID-19 and the pandemic we're in. However, I understand that this came off offensive during this time. It was insensitive, careless and stupid for me to even be at a party during a pandemic. I am truly sorry to anyone I let down or upset in any way, and I fully take accountability for my actions. If you're going to take accountability for actions, fine, you know, I can understand that, but you did something stupid. You know that this is a pandemic. You know that a party isn't going to change anything. You kind of think that if this was going on, you would stay at home and you wouldn't go out. And that's what irritates me. I think that with some influencers, they think, oh, we don't care, we can do what we want. And again, they don't think of other people. Now, say for example, she caught it, she felt fine, but she could pass it on to other people. And that's what infuriates me, because you're putting other people's lives at risk, where you have your fans come up, you'll take a photo with them, and then they could get it, and then they could spread it, and they could spread it, and it's just, I don't understand why these influencers do it. If it's just that you don't care, then just come out and say it. Don't hide behind these apologies. The last one is basically from Tanner. Partying, going to any social gatherings during a global pandemic was such a careless and irresponsible action on my behalf. I fully hold myself accountable for this and will be staying inside. Actions like that don't deserve a platform. I want to fully apologize and be better than this. I'm sorry. While Erica and I were referring to past drama in our video, the topic no longer matters. I need to be a better example and person. I just don't believe this. I believe that you have to put this out because people are calling you out and you're like, shit, what do I do? Because at the end of the day, if you've been going to a few parties and you're going around Jake Paul's house, which we've seen, this to me shows that you're not caring. This is just a stupid thing. You have to put it out there because people look up to you. You know, you don't want to be held accountable for your actions, but yet here we are. And it just really kind of makes me angry. You know, if you going and spending time with your friends, like, you could socially distance, but you're hanging out with Jake Paul, you're hugging him, you're touching him, you know, you're probably doing this with other friends, and it's like you're not caring. I can never figure out what's going through the minds of all these influencers. Is it just me? You know, are they just thinking, oh, it's me, I don't care, this is what I want? My kind of thoughts on this to end this video is very simple, is most LA YouTubers, they just don't care. They don't care about what other people are, they just want to go out and live their best life. You know, they've got their money now, they don't care. Now, if someone turns around and says, oh yeah, but they're young, they're gonna make, you know, mistakes, like Jake Paul said in his little shitty apology thing, it was, you know, his like thing, you just think that, you know, they're going to keep using this excuse. So what happens when they hit 30, 40? Are they going to be like, oh my god, guys, I'm still growing being a person? Oh my god. No. Accountable. You're old enough to know exactly what it is. You know, if you can make brand deals, if you can make music videos, direct, do stuff, literally think about this whole pandemic. This isn't a thing that happens every year. This is a big thing, and people have told you the risks. It makes me wonder. But this video is long enough as it is. I'm going to leave it here. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think about these YouTubers' apologies are big? Do you think these YouTuber apologies are now real, that they have to come on camera and say it like, I'm so sorry, all the time? Or do you think that, you know, that they keep making mistakes because they never learn? Let me know down below in the comments. If you like this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as that cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.